Hello, my name is Tom, and this video is going to be about digital minimalism. And basically, I wanted to show you how I use my computer in a minimalistic way. And I just wanted to say, first of all, that yes, this video is very inspired by other minimalists on YouTube, such as Kraig Adams, who made a wonderful video about digital minimalism. Actually, he's made several videos. So if you see that there are any things that I've borrowed from his video, it's more of a tribute and not a steal. I'm a huge fan of Kraig Adams, and the video that he made about digital minimalism is one of those really inspiring videos. It's one of my favorite YouTube videos of all times, really inspiring and enjoyable to watch. So I'm gonna put a link to that video in the description, so check that out. Kraig Adams has a more extreme view on digital minimalism than myself, and there are other YouTubers out there like Matt D'Avella and Nathaniel Drew who put their own twists on digital minimalism as they see fit. And as I mentioned before, to me and to many others, minimalism is a tool that you use to optimize your lifestyle. It's not about reaching zero or anything like that. It's about just using the tool of minimalism, just minimizing things that are distractions and don't help you. So in this video, I wanted to show you how I use my computer, and it's not the best way for everyone to use. It's the way that works best for me at the moment in this time. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? Okay, so this is my MacBook Pro, a late 2013 model. As you can see, I use a very dark type of image. It's dark mode all the way. I really enjoy using dark mode. I use dark mode on my smartphone, on my laptop, and on my video editing machine, but I'm gonna talk more about that later on. So first of all, here you see that I have a black wallpaper, and some extreme minimalists, they just have something like no wallpaper, just have black or some generic color because they feel that a wallpaper is too distracting. I don't agree with that. At least for me, I like having a nice wallpaper, but I don't like it to be too colorful or too detailed. I prefer it to be something simple like this. So it could be a forest, or as I feel right now, I like to have these black or grayish boards as a background. Okay, so showing you the icons that I have. First of all, this bar, it only appears when I scroll the mouse down. And I have these icons up here. I have the bin, I have QuickTime to capture this video, I have VLC to watch videos. I use Notes. This is my favorite app in the whole world. I use it for everything. Well, almost everything, but I'll get into that in a moment. I use Numbers. It's not as good as Excel, but I like the simplicity of it. It's very minimalistic if you compare it to Excel. And I use Pages, where I write most of my scripts for video projects and stuff like that. And I use Google Chrome. I like Safari, but the problem with Safari is when I watch videos on YouTube, it can't watch any higher than 1080p. So Safari is basically out until they fix that. And then I have Messenger, and this is the Facebook Messenger. Now, I'm not a fan of Facebook, but I do like Messenger, and I use it to communicate with friends and family. So it's a really powerful app to use. And then I have the Launchpad, and let's take a quick look at that. It's kind of clean. I put a lot of icons and apps that I don't use and cannot delete, or I don't want to delete them, but I still want to have them. I keep them in folders and other too. Then I have these apps. I use Plex Media Server to stream videos to my TV sometimes. I use Final Cut Pro to make quick edits on this computer, but usually I don't use this computer to edit videos. I use FileZilla to upload stock footage to Blackbox. It's a cool service, but I'll get into that in a different video, but it's a really cool service. And then I use Microsoft Excel. Yes, sometimes I do use Microsoft Excel for certain things. And then of course I have QuickTime Player. I use the calculator, App Store. I don't use it a lot, but every once in a while there is an update or something. And then there is a calendar, which I use quite frequently. Then I have this YouTube downloader app. To be completely honest, I use this a lot for my own videos. I like to be able to save my 4K video files on YouTube, and then I like to be able to download them using this app. I can download my YouTube videos directly from YouTube Studio, but it downsamples it to 720p. Whereas if I use a YouTube downloader app, I can download in full resolution. Going back to this screen here, some extreme minimalists, they go like, you have to have it completely blank and distraction free. I don't think it's that distracting to have a folder here. And this is just a project folder. I call it cinematography. I'm not going to go into details about what it is. It's more of a project where I basically have taken stills of other YouTuber videos and I look at them and study them and get inspired to how I want to use cinematography in my own videos. So that's just a folder with screenshots of different videos, and I sometimes like to look at this to get inspired. Moving on. So my favorite app in the whole world in this universe is the Notes app, and I use this a lot for very different purposes. Let's open this up. It's kind of personal and private, but I don't mind. I guess you could say that I use a kind of a trinity of 3 folders, and I have a personal folder with just some passwords and stuff and shopping lists and stuff like that. Then I have a YouTube folder where I write down my YouTube video ideas, and I have different YouTube channels, so I have a lot of YouTube video ideas. And then I have, this is a Swedish word, dagbok. It means diary basically. I have a Swedish diary. Yes, I'm from Sweden in case you didn't know it. But this diary, I basically put down these different notes and I just write stuff, thoughts and ideas that I have, and I just write down stuff. Nothing special about that. And I save a lot of old posts in archive. I rarely delete, but sometimes I do. As you can see, I have 6 deleted files, and that's pretty much it. And I use this app on my smartphone, on my MacBook, and on my video editing computer. And I always have access to it because of cloud services. And for that, I do use iCloud. But speaking of iCloud, I'm not a huge fan of iCloud. I think it's very slow, and I'm basically migrating everything from iCloud to, you guessed it, Google Drive. And speaking of Google Drive, we're going to go into the Finder app, and you can see that I have Google Drive up here. So for photos and, just social media, I save everything in Google Photos, and I think it's a wonderful service. You have basically unlimited storage if you can allow for a little bit of compression, which I do. You can talk all that you want about Google and social media and how they use us people, but having a free service like Google Photos is just awesome. I'm very satisfied using Google Photos and uploading all my photos and videos to it. I will, however, say that Google Photos has become a bit of a trash can for me, so I'm not a huge fan of that. And as far as minimalism is concerned, I'm not liking what Google Photos is turning out to be for me. So I'm thinking about looking of ways to not just fill it up. Just because I have unlimited storage doesn't mean that I have to fill it up with all kinds of junk. Speaking of Google Drive, I really love Google Drive. Now, I have about 15 gigabytes, so this is like a free account. Everyone who gets a Google Drive account, they have something like 15 gigabytes. And for me, that is more than enough for my needs. And I have it for different things. I have a personal folder where I have some wallpapers, some important documents, and some personal photos. No, it's nothing like that. Don't even go there. Smartphone wallpapers. Again, I use Google Drive even on my smartphone and on every device that I can use it. And then I have a YouTube folder where I save a lot of asset files like animations and screens and stuff, pics for my different channels. I have several different channels. And then I save all my receipts for my business. It's for tax purposes that I save all my receipts digitally. And then I have a finance folder where I save all the stocks that I bought recently. That's pretty much it. This upload file, it's just for uploading stock videos, just a file where you can put in keywords and stuff like that. Yeah, so Google Drive is wonderful, and 15 gigabytes is more than I need. And honestly, I'm kind of happy that I only have 15 gigabytes because I like the idea of not having too much. I mean, I don't need more than 15 gigabytes, so having more gigabytes would just mean that I would just fill it up with a lot of stuff that I don't need, which is the problem with Google Photos. I have unlimited storage on Google Photos, and I don't have pretty much anything else here. I do have a download folder folder. As you can see also, I have a very clean layout. I don't have too many things here, but in the download folder, I do have other folders. I have some YouTube videos that I've downloaded and some TV shows, movies, and my Final Cut Pro projects, which should be blank. Yep, it's blank because again, I don't edit a lot on this MacBook Pro. I edit most of it on my desktop computer. Okay, let's move on to the browser. Now, I use Google Chrome. I would prefer to use Safari, but the upside of using Google Chrome is it just feels kind of snappier when it comes to, uploading stuff to the cloud and having the cloud being updated on all your devices. Somehow, just Google has made it much easier, much faster than Apple has been able to. So again, I'm a huge fan of Google products, even though I know that there are some, shall we call it, fears that a lot of people have about Google and what they use all that information about us. But, if I find a better service where I have to pay a little bit of fee, and if it works as well as Google, I will probably use that. But for now, I think Google is just fine. Okay, so I don't have a home page. I just have a couple of favorites here, and I do have a couple of folders. Personal, I have some stuff here for personal reasons, and I have a YouTube folder for my YouTube related stuff. A lot has to do with social media management. I use something called Hootsuite to schedule posts on other social media platforms. And then I have a B-roll stock. I use Videvo. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I use several B-stock sites to download some B-stock. I don't download that much B-stock. I usually use my own B-roll because I take a lot of videos, but sometimes it's nice to have access to other type of B-roll. And then I use subtitles translator. I use rev.com to create subtitles for all my videos, and I like to translate them to different languages. So if you have any questions about that, how I do it, I can tell you more about it. I can even put a link in the video description. Remind me if I forget to put that in. Then I have a money folder. And what is that? Well, I have different types of passive incomes. As I mentioned before, I use Blackbox to upload stock footage. And I have some other sites. I have Amazon Affiliate. I use Shutterstock for uploading photos. And I use these keywording tools to, get the search tags optimized. And I use some merch sites, which I'm still kind of thinking about deleting because they don't work as well. And I also have some websites that I use. I don't promote a lot of products on this channel, but I will probably start to promote Blinkist. And so I've started an affiliate program at Blinkist because I really enjoy Blinkist. I think it's a wonderful service. I haven't talked about it in other videos yet, but I probably will have affiliate links to Blinkist in the future. So yeah, 3 folders. I keep it very simple, keep it dark. So I think I pretty much covered most of it. As you can see here, I'm not like an extreme minimalist. I don't have like no wallpaper. I haven't removed all the apps that I don't use. I've removed most of the apps. I just like to have easy and simple access to the apps that I do use. I'm not like, I have to remove everything. I like to keep it clean and simple, but I can still put things in folders before like completely removing them. Again, some extreme minimalists, they'll like completely delete. They'll even hack the Mac OS to be able to remove apps that they cannot normally remove. I'm not that extreme. Like, to me, sometimes the simplest solution is the best, and just putting it in a folder, never opening that folder is enough for me. And I mean, if it comes to like saving storage space, you don't save that much removing some built-in apps. They're not that huge and that big, so it's not a big problem for me. But I think digital minimalism, it's a hobby. In a way, I like to find new ways to optimize my workspace, and that's pretty much what this is. This computer is a tool. It's a workspace where I work to improve my content online. That's pretty much mostly what it's used for. Again, my favorite app is Notes. I love that app so much. I tried using Google Keep, which is the Google equivalent of Notes. It's okay. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but I just prefer using Notes, and I'm gonna keep using it until I get bored with it. Now, as far as like the whole Apple ecosystem, I know there are a lot of people who don't like Apple and their products, and And me personally, I think it's all very expensive, but I kind of like the high level of simplicity, efficiency, just quality overall. I don't think that they're doing a good job with iCloud and their cloud services, but other than that, I just really like Apple products, and that's why I have a MacBook and an iPhone, AirPods, stuff like that. And I really enjoy the ecosystem. I don't feel trapped in it. I just use it for all the benefits that I can, and right now I see a lot of benefits using the Apple ecosystem. Would I like to leave the Apple ecosystem? If I find something that works better for me and for the content that I create, then I will do so, and I probably will, hopefully, because Apple products are, as you know, very expensive. So I'm hoping that one day I will be able to jump ship, so to speak, but at the moment I just really prefer using my Apple products for better or worse. But again, all of this, it's just tools for me. It's like the camera that I'm shooting this with. It's all just tools. I use them to the best of my abilities. I don't have as much love for Apple, and that's why I don't consider myself an Apple sheep anymore. I used to, however, but today I just see Apple products as tools, and right now they're premium tools that gets the job done in a very simple way, but sometimes I find products that work a lot better. Okay, that's pretty much all I had for this little insight into my version of digital minimalism. I'd love to know what you think of my digital minimalism, and if you have ideas where I can improve and how you use digital minimalism in different ways or similar ways. Let's start the conversation down in the comments section. Okay, that's all I had for today. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.